All right. Hello. Good morning. Happy Thanksgiving to you. I know a lot has happened here in the last day with this big storm system and the blizzard and the winter storm. So hopefully you're at your destination. You don't have to go out or anything like that, and you are set for Thanksgiving. I really hope that you have a good day surrounded with your friends and family. Hopefully, you don't have to do a whole lot of digging out from this blizzard that we had yesterday, and that's still continuing. Here's what you need to know. I'm going to go over the main bullet points for today. We're going to talk about how things are looking like out there right now, where we're expecting the worst conditions today as well. Okay, so we did notice some improvements to winds during the overnight, so not as strong as what we had yesterday evening or last night. And some of that snow has decreased in the west and central, but we're still expecting heavy lake effect snow to continue in the eastern half. That means traveling will still be difficult near Lake Superior. There are a lot of the back roads, neighborhood roads that are covered in snow. There might also be a lot of deep snow drifts from that blowing snow that we had overnight. And many areas along Lake Superior, along M28 in Alger County, probably also going to continue with poor visibility, whiteout conditions, as that's where the strongest winds will be at for today. Within those lake effect bands across the east, we could have an additional foot of snow. Right now, we have a 58-mile-per-hour wind gust over in Munising. Very strong winds there on this TV6 first alert weather day. Elsewhere, we have a range of 25 to 36-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Still expecting a range about 30 to 40, maybe even 45 miles per hour near Lake Superior on and off throughout the day. It's just not as strong as yesterday evening. It is still strong, regardless of how you paint it. This is still a strong range for winds for us, especially with all the snow that we've had. We're now tapping into the lake effect snow. That's this fluffy snow, so that's going to really significantly reduce visibilities and rather quickly. But the winds, they'll continue to weaken, especially tonight and by tomorrow morning. Traveling is not necessarily advised across the eastern half of the UP. That's where we're expecting our worst conditions. If you're in the west and the central counties, right now it looks like the worst conditions happening in the morning through about late morning. The afternoon, we have some minor improvements as it's just generally going to be light lake effect snow to moderate in some places. Here are alerts. Blizzard warning continues for Marquette County until 10 a.m. Alger County goes until 7 p.m. Until 7 p.m., we have winter weather advisories as well as winter storm warnings in the eastern half. The eastern half is going to pick up potentially near a foot of snow. This is outside of the station. About an hour ago, there was a fleet of plow trucks that came through, clearing out both lanes, which was really good, but it's still very snowy out there and slippery. More calm or calmer conditions, rather, along College Avenue in Houghton County. Still some light snow out there at this moment. Improvements out west right now, not much more for snowfall there, but we still have some light lake effect kind of ongoing in Baraga, Western Marquette County with that heavy snowfall in Alger County. I'll zoom in here. Let me go ahead and put this on a pause. Okay, Alger County. We're seeing this very heavy band of lake effect. M28 from Munising down into 94. So down into Hiawatha, that takes you down to Manistique in US 2. Heavy snow band there this morning. Otherwise, light and moderate lake effect, kind of west of Chatham and west of 94 in the eastern section of Marquette County. Okay, so here's the hour by hour, continuing with multiple bands of heavy lake effect snow in the eastern counties. And that's where I said we're going to have our worst conditions today with improvements in the west and central. Here's 8 p.m. this evening. Basically, kind of a similar story in those very same locations. By tomorrow morning, so much better out there. Additional snowfall within those more prominent bands of heavy lake effect snow, near a foot likely in those more fuchsia colored shaded spots. But otherwise, kind of a broad brush range of an additional 4 to 6 inches for the interior western counties, and that includes Baraga and the north central sections of Marquette County, with some high elevation locations exceeding potentially 7 inches to near 9 inches of snow. Not much more for areas within Dickinson or Menominee counties, southern Iron County, an additional potential 1 to 3 inches. Here's where we're rounding out what we got over the last 24 hours. We ended up with about a foot, foot and a half of snow in many areas. High snowfall across the western UP. That's that snow depth there. Oh, look, this is a video I took yesterday of those pine trees blowing around in the wind with that heavy, heavy snow and the strong winds. I think it's having an issue rendering right now. Okay. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Just a little bit of that. A lot of you folks were out in this yesterday. Some of you probably got stuck on US 41 in that wet, icy slush that we had early in the afternoon as that rain snow line gradually transitioned. Hopefully, you weren't in that, but it was not good. And today's kind of a little different. Now it's the fluffy lake effect snow that will continue to cause poor visibility and some whiteouts along Lake Superior along M28. Once this is done with, I encourage you to share your snowfall reports with us on our website. So if you go under the weather tab, I have a tab on there that says storm reports. There's a very easy form for you to fill out. Just fill it out for us, and we can find out how much snow you ended up with. At the bottom of that form, also, there's a link that'll take you to the National Weather Service, straight to the National Weather Service link where you can submit your snowfall for them as well, because it's very useful for them as they kind of do their data analysis and debriefing of the storm system for climate records and things like that. You might be curious about this upcoming weekend. We have one more day of not great conditions, and then we're going into the weekend where you might be traveling, right? You might be going back home, or you might, decide that that's when you're going to do your Thanksgiving, right? Or you might go shopping or enjoy those Black Friday deals, correct? Well, it doesn't look too terrible. There is a small disturbance that we are expecting to come in between Saturday evening into Sunday that will bring in some light snow and some light snow accumulations. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out quickly so you can see that. Here's a look at Saturday. Most of the day is quiet. There's a swath of snow that's going to be coming in from the southwest out of Iowa, Wisconsin, and Illinois. So by Saturday night, we're tapping into some of this light snow. And then Sunday morning, you might be going to church. You're going to wake up to some fresh snow. So light accumulation expected with this little small bout. And then that moves on out. And after that, it looks like we have a cold pattern, and with continued snow chances going into next week and the start of December. So that's how it looks right now. Hopefully you don't have to be outside. Hopefully you don't have to encounter or driving at any of the conditions that we're experiencing out there this morning. Though some areas have noted improvements to conditions, but maybe, just hunker down, stay at home, and, stay nice, safe, and warm. We'll have another update for you in a few hours. So yeah, if you also want to get more updates, make sure that you have our TV6 First Alert Weather app downloaded onto your cell phone. Okay, I hope you guys have a really great day. And if you don't check back in with us, I hope you have